Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Darshawn McAway. You're tuned in to Wow Podcast. By all means, go to wowpodcast.me. That's wowpodcast.me. Now, today we have a special guest. We have Miranda Oh. She's here to talk to us about her latest book, Just Breathe, Chin Up, Tits Out. Miranda, how are you doing?
Oh, I am fantastic. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well. So, of course, I'm pretty sure everyone asks you this, but what does Chin Up, Tits Out mean, and why is that the title of your series?
All right. I'm so happy to answer this because it came from like a little life lesson that my parents would instill in me growing up. It started off with stand up tall, be proud, hold your head up high, put your shoulders back. Even if you're not confident walking into a room or trying to do something, if you look confident, then eventually the inside will match the outside. And then as I got older and, hormones start to flow through, I was looking for a compliment from my mom before I was about to go out to do a presentation for school. And I was giving her sass and she was giving me sass back, and she's like, oh, just chin up and tits out and you can do that. And she's like, you're going to conquer that room. And I was like, yeah. And then fast forward 10, 15 years when I was writing a book about really heavy stuff, my character kept coaching yourself to chin up, tits out. And I was like, man, this is a life model that we need to just take out. It's like the fake it till you make it, or whatever little slogan or mantra that works or clicks for you. Then this is just another option to choose when you're needing a little pick-me-up from the inside out.
Gotcha. So what is your book about?
Well, it's a whole series. So it's the Chin Up, Tits Out series, and the third book, Just Breathe, was launched earlier this year. And it follows a young woman who has her life mapped out. She's ready to go to college. She owns a business. She knows what she wants. And then she falls in love with a boy with an accent. Oh, those boys with accents, they always get you. And so from there, it turns into this 6-year long journey where they do a battle with immigration, where there's racism and long-distance relationship and immigration struggles, just going through all those logistics. Then we finally get them into Canada where the book is set, and a diagnosis comes and hits them, and they're young. And as we know, the reality of getting diagnosed with a chronic illness or a critical illness these days is a lot more likely than it used to be in the past. So everybody's been touched by something, a chronic illness or a critical illness at some point, whether it's been themselves or somebody that they love or an immediate family member or friend. So they go through that, and that is just a whole wild ride. And then the third book, Just Breathe, really brings you into, okay, now when you've lost everything and you feel like you've hit rock bottom, how do you really stand up tall and stand with your chin up and your tits out confidently? So it's Just Breathe, because at the end of the day, your happiness, your balance, your peace all comes from within. And that book really takes our main character, our main character takes the reader through an exploration of trying to find all that within herself after losing everything.
Now, that sounds like it could be a movie. Have you thought about turning it into a movie, or has someone approached you?
Nobody has approached me, but it's been something I've been putting out into the universe since I published the first one back in 2016, I think it was, somewhere around there. And I was like, man, this will be such a good movie. And then I was like, hold on a minute, one step at a time, lady. Like, why don't you get book 2 and book 3 out and finish your story? And so now all 3 books are out. So I would love to turn this into film some way, shape, or form.
Why do you think that tragedies bring us together?
Oh, because when something extreme happens, let's just use tragedy in this sense, is we evoke emotion. And those emotions are real and they're strong and they're raw. And when you have an opportunity where you have that emotion and you're holding on to it and somebody else is feeling that emotion, it's an immediate connector. It's an immediate piece of, hey, relatability. You know how I feel. You understand how I feel. Let's figure out how to connect through that and help us through tragedy or through chaos. And when you have chaos and when you have tragedy, sometimes sitting in your own stuff and connecting with others that are going through it help you find the silver lining in certain places where it's really difficult to find the silver lining.
So, Miranda, when you were in your darkest moment, your darkest corner of the hour, what helped you pull yourself out, and why didn't you stay there?
Staying in a dark, deep, negative corner did not work for me physically. I don't know about you, but when I am fearful or angry or anxious or scared, the physical manifestation, my chest hurts, my stomach is in knots, I can't stop crying, so my face is super puffy, I can't sleep. Like, that's all negative stuff that happens to me physically, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, and nobody deserves to live in a space of negativeness. I just made that word up, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Or negativity. There it is. It's Friday. My apologies. And so it was, okay, how do I get out of this? And it came to literally going back to breathing and learning how to do the mindful breathing, and then relying on my family and friends, the ones who are close and through the darkest times with me. They helped pick me up when I was unable to pick up myself. But when it came back to breathing and coming to making decisions that brought me closer to balance and brought me closer to peace, that means the things that didn't make me feel good, I had to cut out of my life. I had to distance myself from those people. I had to distance myself from those habits. I had to reform and grow, change, assess my stuff. And that was where writing for me was so healing. It was such a tool and a resource that I used to go through my own healing. And therefore then I had an opportunity to connect with people that had gone through similar struggles.
So when a person purchases this book, what message do you want them to get from it?
That you hold the life that you deserve and the life that you want inside of you. That is what I want people to realize, is that whatever life you think you can have and you strive for it, hard work pays off. To not give up, to continue to stand up tall, chin up, tits out, no matter how bad it gets, because everything is temporary. All the bad stuff. So when you're going through bad stuff, accept it. Oh, I'm going through a minute. I just got to let it go. Accept it and move on, because it's not going to be bad forever. And when you're going through good stuff, know that it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshines and gummy bears. You're going to have to, take that, embrace it, ride the wave, be present when you're going through something positive, because again, everything is temporary and you just got to be as confident moving through it. Life is all about change and growth. We might as well be open and accept it and live a balanced life as much as we can with the things that we have control over.
Now, when you were putting pen to pad or putting fingers to the keyboard, what was that wow moment for you when you say, you know what, I think I can deliver a message in a book?
Oh, you know what? I think it came when I published my first book and I read in public. That was when the aha moment, every moment up to that, I was like, oh my God, I actually did this. This is cool. But it was, how can I connect with others and share my message, was when I was up there in front of everybody at the bookstore and I was reading my message or reading my prologue actually. And I was having the time of my life. I had so much fun. I talk with my hands. I'm talking with my hands right now. And so I was theatrical and changing my tone and inflection and really set the stage for my readers that day is this is a wild ride that, hey, I went, I embarked on, and I survived. And I still have, I find ways to laugh at everything or enjoy or find the silver lining in everything. And when I was able to speak my words out, I was like, yeah, girl, you did this and you found a connection, and it changed. Everything in my life changed after that. And I absolutely thrive off of change. So I just want to keep doing it. Find messages and share them.
Speaking of sharing, how can people get in contact with you to, learn more about you and to possibly purchase your books?
Yeah, well, you can find me on all major social media, so Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can type me out, Miranda Oh, that's O-H is the last name, easy peasy, or you can hashtag chin up, tits out. I'm also available through that hashtag. Now you can find my books at Amazon worldwide, all over the place.
And one last thing before you go, what inspiring message would you give to the writers out there who are trying to get their books published?
Don't give up. Don't give up. If you have a story, the world deserves to hear it. They just don't know it yet. So make them want to hear it, because there are so many brilliant minds in this world. And if you have something to share, go after it. When we drive something, when we find something we are passionate about and we go after it, success happens. So don't give up if you have a story to share.
Well, I'm your host, Darshawn McAway. We're speaking to author Miranda Oh. She's talking to us about her latest book, Just Breathe, Chin Up, Tits Out. Miranda, thank you so much for coming on to Wow Podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Darshan.